Evening, beloved listener and follower of the Lord. Of You are the builder of your own life. It's once again a privilege, a great honor, and also so much great pleasure to be live again, to be back with my next session, to continue what I am busy with, to continue the journey. I am back, and I believe and I trust that tonight will be really, really informative, effective, and very productive. And also tonight's session, I believe, will really open up the door to a greater and a deeper understanding in the context of this journey. You are the builder of your own life, and also where I am also breaking up and breaking down and opening up the teachings of Jesus Christ in its deeper, more original context. I hope you had a very good day. I hope you had a splendid day. I hope you were very effective in your day, very fruitful, productive. I hope you were a blessing to someone today. I hope you realized today that you are more than enough. Amen. Um, yeah, I want to continue tonight my session where my key verse have started last night, where I have closed verse 4 in Matthew chapter 5, and where I was opening verse 5 of Matthew 5 verse 5, where I opened that verse last night. But I will through this sessions, I will still be quoting and using verse 4. Evening, Brother Ron, welcome. So I will still mention verse 4 at times, but my key verse will be verse 5, where I quoted last night and read that blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the kingdom. They shall inherit the earth. So I want to tap in a little deeper. I want to dive in a little deeper tonight, so that we can have a better and clearer understanding what the mission of Jesus was, why certain fundamentals in the process of laying a solid foundation to all his listeners, why some of the the opening teachings and the fundamentals was key. So to be meek means, like I said last night, it means that the mind had been quiet. The mind is still geword, because the mind can be very busy. And what we must always keep in mind is that different people possess today different viewpoints. Different people walk in life with different spectacles, with different lenses and the spiritual eye. And there's a reason for that, because it is because of the conditioning of the mind that gives the person the ability to process information the way the person interpret and process information. For instance, let me put it this way. If someone is not a spiritual person, in the sense of he's not really in that environment where he put himself every day, but all of a sudden he he find himself in a conversation where people will have a spiritual conversation. So now that person is standing on the sideline, but also giving an ear. The one thing that the person will struggle with is to process the information that is being shared in that conversation, because of the person's how can I say, that he is not conditioned, or she is not conditioned in such a way, was never really exposed to such environments. And so for this person, this is a total new environment to find the person in. And because of that, there won't be really interpretation. There won't be really a processing of information. Processing of information can take place, but there will be a struggle for the interpretation. Because, like I said, we work with different viewpoints, and that person that is in that environment now, where he is giving an ear to what the conversation is about on a spiritual level. So now that person is only a hearer and only receive information. And if that person spend time regularly in that presence of the people, there will be a time when the person will start to develop understanding, especially if that person start to participate in the conversation only through asking questions, not to challenge the conversation, but to become part of it, and to start learning a total new world and a total new environment. And as the person receive responses from those people, and that person allow himself to really learn from what the replies are, and he spend time in meditation, and he spend time to think about it, and he keep on coming back and keep on coming back, there will be a time when the person will be able to process the information more correctly, and there will be definitely an interpretation. And when the interpretation starts to manifest, or to there's a response from a interpret response, or a place, then it is evidence that the person is busy developing a viewpoint, and the viewpoint flow from a place of understanding. Why am I using this tonight? Because the reason why it was important for Jesus Christ to, like I quoted last night, to start with a people who are poor in spirit, and that people was willing to give up the old self, etc., and to bring a total complete change in the person's life. And now that person have reached a place where the person have a quiet mind based on meekness. That is when that person is in a position, to receive easily the new wine, or the new information that the coach or the teacher or the rabbi feed them with. Because why? Jesus Christus het seker gemaak, hy begin met mense die journey wat willing was om 'n change te bring in hulle eie lewe, wat willing was om te admit daar is 'n need vir nuwe wyn, 'n nuwe wynsak, because why, daar is nou 'n opportunity vir nuwe wyn of nuwe information. Amen. Welcome for those that is also tuning in. I hope you will be blessed tonight. So That is one of the reasons why it was important for Jesus Christ to get his listeners and his followers to a place of having a quiet mind, a still mind. So the meekness got nothing to do with being a introvert. It have nothing to do with it. Because why om sagmoedig te wees, het nie te doen met om 'n introvert te wees nie, maar dit het te doen met om 'n quiet mind te hê. 'n Open mind, a mind that is ready to receive fresh and new wine, fresh and new information. Welcome, Auntie Desiree Bowers en Lazel, my vrou se niggie. Is goed om vir julle te sien. Ek hoop julle word geseën vanaand. So that is the reason why it is. So what we must always understand, like I said last night, is that because the mind is already conditioned, it puts the mind in a position or in a place and in a capacity to process information. So whenever you hear information, you can sit with 10 people, and that 10 people are different conditioned minds, and they have different viewpoints and look at life differently. And all of that people, while hearing the same information, the process and the interpretation will differ because of the conditioning of the mind. And the mind who is conditioned a certain way will only process information that is in alignment with how the mind have been conditioned, vir hoe die mind geset is, vir wat die mind ken, vir wat die mind aangewoond is. Amen. So daai is een van die redes hoekom dit die geval is. Ek wil net een van my notas wat ek gemaak het net vanaand share. The mind many times have more than one voice. That's why the mind will always be opinionated. Imitation, conformity, influences, circles of family members, and all happenings in society creates and establish those voices in the mind. Because the child have been exposed for all these years to many and different environments where the child and that young person have feed from that different places, and because of that established different voices. And that's why you sit with people that is sometimes confused, that sometimes struggle to process information because of all the voices, and now the person don't really know which way to go or how to handle something or what to do in a certain situation, and that person becomes so dependent on someone else outside of that person, and will always need an opinion about a certain direction in a certain way because of the different voices that keep on talking in your mind or in your head, etc. Like today, I was in a conversation today where we were speaking about some political stuff, etc. Brother Ron, that is also tuning in tonight, was part of the conversation. But why I am bringing this in is just to confirm that sometimes when you are in a conversation, you will sometimes, when you follow the person that talks, or you follow yourself when you talk, then the person will sometimes contradict himself or herself because of different voices that speaks and communicates and influence and direct you in that conversation. And that is the key reason why Jesus wanted to journey with a people who are possessing a quiet mind, a mind that is no more opinionated, a mind that is willing just to submit and follow and trust the process and feed itself with information, because like the body needs food to 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 um to grow stronger, etc., and to fresh up and to build strength, the mind also um um depends on energy or information. And when you are in that space and you learn to quiet the mind, then it means you are positioning yourself, aligning yourself, and preparing yourself for the new information. Because the new information in the context of the journey that Jesus Christ had with his followers and his listeners, all those people who accepted his invitation about the kingdom of heaven, so now they are about to experience and to feed themselves with information in line with that. So for them to go through their journey and to receive from their teacher, they need to have a quiet mind, a mind that will not influence him or herself when the teacher is talking, when the teacher is feeding, when the teacher is directing, when the teacher is giving advice, etc. The mind will know its place. The mind will understand, I am here only to submit and to follow and to trust. Until, greetings, Lazial. The mind will do that until the mind have been developed and conditioned to a certain place where the mind is now busy developing in understanding. And when understanding is busy developing in the mind, it means now the mind is developing a certain voice, but also a certain hearing, because the hearing is for the processing of the information, and the voice is to respond when there's a need for that response, etc. So that is the purpose why it is important for us, when we are taking on a new journey, to do the different principles, to apply the different principles by becoming poor in spirit, the crucifixion, the giving up of the old self, old habits, etc., old ways of thinking, old ways of reasoning, and to find yourself in a place where you have a quiet mind, a mind that will not be opinionated, because the mind will always have an opinion. Ons kan maar nou maak wat ons wil. I want to not challenge you, but I want you to put my words to test. You see, the reason why many people is not aware of this is because they don't really pay attention when the mind is responding. But myself, because I am in this environment and I keep myself busy with this kind of information, I am now in a place of consciousness, or I am conscious of these things. That's why I gave a testimony last night where I said that my mind wanted to tell me something about someone. So my mind wanted to influence me about a certain person and gave me an opinion. But I wasn't open for that, and I wasn't in agreement to what my mind wanted to influence me with. And I corrected my mind by telling the mind, but we don't have all the facts on the table. So I can't agree with what is being said now. Het klink miskien nie normal wat ek vanaand sê nie. Het klink miskien weird, but that is my reality, because of my awareness of how real the mind is and the kind of conversations the mind will have with you. And most of the time, many people's mind only become quiet when they sleep. I am not in that space anymore. I can sit here, or I can do anything, and then I can keep my mind in a quiet space. Because I have practiced it, I have trained myself with it, and I'm going to share tonight a certain method of how I have done it. And I know many people maybe will be against my method, but I'm just sharing my method. I'm not trying to convince other people to apply my methods, but I'm just giving you my experience. So in 2019, when I started to take on this new journey where I find myself on a spiritual level, and I started to become aware of certain things that needs to be in place. I started with meditation, and many people, especially believers, Christene, kom ek praat gou Afrikaans, veral Christene, het baie kere die manier om te voel dat meditation maak deure oop vir demons. And that is not true. It's a myth. It's a misconception that people have. Many people don't realize the thing that actually open up demons is when you are influenced by the mind in certain ways to create certain images in your mind about a lot of things in life. That is when you open yourself up for certain demonic forces. Because why the mind is powerful, so the mind, if you keep the mind in a certain place, in a certain environment, it will attract those kind of things to you. So if you have a quiet mind, it means you will have a quiet and a peaceful life. It means everything outside of you can happen around you, but it won't affect you because why? Your mind is stable, your mind is in a firm position, and your mind don't allow any negative manifestations outside of him to affect and to influence him and to determine or to define him. So that is how I'm currently living my life with that kind of principles and that kind of lifestyle. So I started, you see, when I started to practice meditation, it was when I started to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. But what I'm doing when I do it, I put my attention on the breathing in and breathing out. And I focus on that. And when you focus on that, it means your mind will be quiet. Want dan het jy niks om oor te dink nie, want jy is nou te gefocus op jou inhaal en jou uithaal van jou asem in en asem uit, asem in en asem uit. And as you do that, you don't give the mind any space to talk to you. Jy gee nie die mind enige rede om oor te praat. Ek bedoel, David het ook meditation ge-advise. But daar's different forms van meditation. David het weer gepraat in Psalm 1 waar hy sê, and he meditates on the law of the Lord day in and day out. So meditation is one of the key principles that you need to use if you want to align your mind in a certain position. So there's different forms of meditation, but the one way to apply meditation when you want to get your mind in a quiet position, it is when you do the breathing in and the breathing out. Like, so when you breathe in, you listen to that, you pay attention to that. It puts you in a place where you are present. Because sometimes we are not even present. Because when you think about the end of the year, or you think about the end of July, or you think about my next birthday, or you stress about some things that still need to be in place, it means you are not present. Your mind wanders away with you, and as your mind wanders away with you, the only thing that you experience in that moment is stress and it is worry. And that means you are not present, you are living in the future, and you fail to live in the now, in the present tense. So when you keep your mind quiet and you have managed and mastered to put your mind in a quiet space, that is when you will easily start to live only for the present time. Because like Jesus even encouraged that. Why do you worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, and what you're going to put on? Don't the pagans do that? But seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all the other things that you stress so about will be added unto you. Even Jesus advised, where he even said that don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow got got his own evil or his own stuff that is gonna take place. Just live in today. And that is the one thing that humanity struggle with. Most of us struggle to live only in the today, only for today. I'm not saying, don't take what I'm saying out of context. I'm not saying don't plan your life. I'm not saying that. But as you plan your life, only live, or try at least to live in your now. It's not easy. Sometimes I fail even about it, even though I'm aware of it, because of many habits in certain environments, in certain things that happen to you, you become distracted. But when I become aware of my distraction, then I must realign myself in the mind and position myself to remind myself I must live in the now. I mustn't stress about the tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own worries. That's the thing that I wanted to say. So, meekness is the key to inherit the kingdom of, to inherit the earth. And when you have inherited the earth, ek dink as Psalm wat sê, die aarde en die volheid van die aarde behoort aan God. So wat beteken, Jesus het letterlik gesê, die wat meek kom word het, want dit sit jou mind in a place of resting, where you are in a place where you rest because your mind is quiet. Jesus Christ promised for those people to become heirs of God, waar jy 'n erfgenaam word van God. Want God, hoor wat sê die psalmdigter, die hele aarde en die volheid van die aarde behoort aan God. En nou sê Jesus, salig is die sagmoediges, want hulle sal die aarde wat aan God behoort beerwe. En daai is wanneer jy die plek enter van heerskappy. En dit is die rede waarvoor ons geskape was. Dit is actually die rede waarvoor ons die aarde geënt het. Daar's baie kere wat ek so observasies doen, as ek sekere mense se lewens studie en sekere behavioral patterns studie, dan sal ek baie kere vir myself vra, dink die persoon regtig waar hy het die aarde geënt om so te sukkel. Hy het die aarde geënt om soos 'n slaaf te lewe van poverty. Hy het die aarde geënt om so gecontrol te word deur ander se opinions. That is not the reason why you entered the earth. Daai is nie die rede hoekom jy na die aarde toe gekom het nie. Jy het na die aarde toe gekom om heerskappy te hê. Jy het na die aarde toe gekom om God te represent or to manifest or to become like him and to reflect him in the earth. Daai is die main objective wat ons op moet konsentreer. But I want to encourage those that listens tonight and that's going to listen tomorrow or the day after that. I want to encourage you, if you really want to be ready for any new information that is in alignment or in